going back to this initial sensitizing event and resolving those issues are identical to an implosion. Like in Salt Lake City a number of years ago, we had the New House Hotel. It had been there for many, many years, but it was old, and they wanted to take it down. But they couldn't just push it over because there were other things in its place, or right next to it. So they simply planted 36 pounds of dynamite in the foundation, and they blew the foundation, and down came that old building, and they built something brand new and beautiful. Perfect analogy to what goes on when we find an initial sensitizing event like this, and the adult is able to see what was really going on, and the child is able to feel the love of the adult too. And what's interesting is once a child accepts an idea about themselves, they will only notice that which reinforces the idea through the years. So by finding the initial sensitizing event and blowing the foundation on it, all those things that reinforced it through the years come down too. And then she is free to rebuild based on her knowledge, her wisdom, and understanding as an adult. It's like a rescue of the inner child is what this is really all about. Okay. I'm going to take away some of this to add some empowering principles. And I think the most empowering of them all.
Speak up.
More. The most empowering of all these principles, I believe, is this idea that our own thoughts create our emotions. We live in a society where people have no clue where their feelings come from. They're always trying to deal with them. They're often trying to treat them, but they don't realize they come from their own thoughts. We could add here urges as well as appetite. And then follows behavior. We'll do something. We will act on the feelings. Feelings are ancestors to behavior. For example, let's take anger. A lot of people are dealing with anger issues. Let's say the mom's already late to work. She still needs to take the kids to school, and she gets out and finds that she has a flat tire on the car. Now, she's ranting and raving and carrying on, and just ask her. She'll tell you the flat tire ruined her day. She'll tell you that the flat tire made her mad. But can a flat tire really make somebody mad? Anger comes from thinking angry thoughts. For example, angry thoughts stimulate a neurochemical response in the body. It's the adrenal glands that pump you full of adrenaline, and then you do whatever you do when you're angry. Sad thoughts stimulate a neurochemical response that cause tears to form in the eyes. Depressing thoughts stimulate a neurochemical response that make it tough to even get out of bed or to cope with life. But flip the coin. Happy thoughts stimulate a neurochemical response that give us a sense of well-being. Loving thoughts allow people to fall in love. Unloving thoughts shut us down emotionally, and we fall out of love. The fact of the matter is, we're programmable. We are programmable, and we either program ourselves with our own self-talk, positive or negative, or we may allow someone else to program us. If we're vulnerable back here, and somebody comes along and makes some nasty comment, it goes right in there. And it is amplified, and pretty soon you feel like a 9-day-old pile of cat crap. But when you're healthy and whole here, that same person can come along with their nasty remark, and you will simply deflect it. And maybe wonder, what's your problem today? But no injury. You simply don't let it injure you. A smoker knows they can go some time without an urge to smoke. If they're engaged in something, their mind's on it. But as soon as the thought to smoke comes, they're here in lightning speed. And once here, this is your old willpower struggle. 10% against 90. Those are not good odds. And then we do the deed. So we're programmable. We want to begin to accept responsibility for our own thoughts, our own self-talk. The second rule of the mind, I'll say, If you don't like how you're feeling at any given time, go back up here and see what you've been sending in. And realize you cannot make someone else happy, but they can't make you happy either. Happiness is an inside job, and it comes from nurturing happy thoughts. Okay. The second rule of the mind is the mind cannot focus on two conflicting ideas at the same time. You can't be happy and sad at once, but our tendency as humans is we'll spend more time and energy on focusing on what we don't want, our fears, our worries. And as we bring that in as programming into the subconscious mind, it's greatly amplified, and pretty soon we're doing whatever it takes to make that happen. It's your old law of attraction. What you focus on is what you get. Now let's use the example of a smoker again. And when you are teaching this concept to your students or to your clients, you'll ask them, how is this behavior that they're here for, how is it getting in your way? For the smoker, they are going to tell you, it stinks, it's costing me about $2,100 a year. I am short of breath, low energy. What else? I'm not kissable. My wife doesn't like to kiss me. And just fill the board up with everything they tell you on that. And then point out that when the thought to smoke comes, it quickly turns into an emotion, and then they're doing again what they don't want. These lines represent neural pathways in the brain. New way of thinking and being. The negative thought trigger may still come, but you have a choice as to what you do with it. You can reinforce these same old neural pathways and end up with what you don't want again. Or you jump up here to bring in new programming. Because you see, this subconscious mind just doesn't judge what comes in. It doesn't care. But it always acts on it. So if it's coming from here, it's going to call it forth. Or if it's coming from here, it's going to call it forth. So, what are the benefits of being an ex-smoker, we'll say? Well, you smell good. And again, you let them list these. You smell good. You have increased energy. More intimacy because your breath smells good. It's really just the opposite of everything here. Instead of fears and worries of what it's doing to you, you have confidence. Smell good. Oh, you've got this wonderful bonus of $2,100 per year. That turns into $4,200 in 2 years, $6,300 in just 3 years. How do you want to be spending that money rather than watching it go up in smoke? And so forth. So you just fill the board. They're going to have more, they'll feel more socially acceptable. Most smokers today are embarrassed about it. And that can go over here. They're embarrassed, they're ashamed. They know it's stupid. So their self-worth and everything expands over here. So,